Lonzo Ball's NBA career is in serious jeopardy. He just underwent extensive cartilage transplant surgery on his troubled left knee last week. This could cause him to miss the entirety of the upcoming 2023-24 season. Also, there are now speculations on whether Lonzo will ever come back to an NBA court again. Billy Donovan, the Bulls head coach, said that this procedure gives Ball the best chance to, at some point in the future, continue his NBA career. Not exactly a reassuring or comforting statement. Back in February, Zoe was initially ruled out for the remainder of the current NBA season due to a strange pain in his already twice surgically repaired left knee. Back then, the Bulls organization stated this: "Although there has been considerable progress in both strength and mobility, Ball has been unable to partake in basketball-related activities. The focus will continue to be on the resolution of his discomfort and a full return for the 2023-24 season." This was, of course, something the organization had to say, but it was obviously a big lie. Now that Zoe just underwent his third surgery in just over a year, it's safe to say that it doesn't look good regarding his future NBA career. Also, this whole situation was a huge red flag because no one could determine exactly why Lonzo was in pain or how to actually fix it. And that's why the surgery almost feels forced and kind of like a last resort type thing. But to really understand what went down, let's go back a little over a year. It all started on January 14th, 2022, when Zoe went down during a game against the Warriors. And after further examination, it was revealed that he had a meniscus tear, and he ended up having surgery 2 weeks later. Keep in mind, this was the same surgery he underwent after his rookie season with the Lakers back in 2018. Sadly, he never made it back after the Golden State game, and the team decided to rule him out for the remainder of the 2022-23 season. The Bulls were in a roll before the injury, with Lonzo being pivotal to the team's success. They were second in the East with the 28-12 record, and he was the only player in the NBA so far that season with at least 100-plus assists, 100-plus rebounds, 40-plus steals, and 20-plus blocks. Zoe was also having a career high from beyond the arc, nailing an impressive 42% before he went down. But then, with Lonzo being out, the team's performance took a massive hit and eventually dropped down to 6th in the conference with a record of 19-23 in the remaining 42 games, and was eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the Milwaukee Bucks. It was clear just how vital Lonzo was to the team's success, but unfortunately, it was later confirmed that Lonzo would need new surgery in September 2022 and wouldn't be back in time for the start of the upcoming season. He was supposed to get back on the court this January. However, as time passed, it became abundantly clear that his recovery was not progressing as expected. Bulls head coach Billy Donovan provided an update at the end of January, stating that Ball was nowhere near ready to return. Then in February, Zoe was ruled out for the remainder of the season due to strange pain, and last week it was confirmed he just underwent his third surgery on the troubled left knee. Knee injuries are one of the most dangerous injuries an NBA player can sustain. There's no doubt basketball is a high-intensity sport that requires a significant amount of physical exertion from players. One of the most notable examples of an NBA player who had to retire early due to knee injuries is Brandon Roy. Roy was a 3-time All-Star and one of the most talented players in the league during his years as an active. However, his career was cut short due to chronic knee injuries. Roy's knees had deteriorated to the point where he even struggled with walking. He retired at the age of 28 after just 6 seasons in the league. Derrick Rose is another example of a player who has struggled with knee injuries throughout his career. Rose was the league MVP in 2011 and was considered one of the best players in the league. However, he suffered a series of serious knee injuries that have destroyed what could have truly been an amazing NBA career. Even though D-Rose didn't have to retire as Roy did, he had to adjust his game to compensate for the injuries. He was destined to be a Chicago Bulls legend in the realms of Michael Jordan, but ended up being one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. Unfortunately, this could be Lonzo's fate as well, and Chicago fans should be concerned. He's currently deep into his 6th year in the league, and despite being known as a really great defender and playmaker, Zoe has yet to make an All-Star appearance and hasn't played a single minute of postseason basketball. Lonzo signed a 4-year, $85 million deal with the Bulls in August 2021, and so far, the Bulls have gotten very little back on that investment. In reality, they're facing losing it all without even getting so much as a playoff win from Zoe. But as Bill Simmons stated, it's not a bad contract, it's a sad contract. The worst part of it all is Lonzo himself. At 25 years of age, he's about to enter his prime as a basketball player, and he's nowhere near being ready to play. He's already lost a lot of valuable time, and we know that these kinds of injuries may eventually hamper his overall play when he returns. I know the last thing Zoe wants is to be a diminished version of himself, or even worse, to not return at all. But let's switch gears for a moment and talk about the Chicago Bulls. As of right now, they're 10th in the Eastern Conference, and even though they have been pretty bad this season, they've managed to win 5 out of the last 6 games and still have a shot in the play-in tournament. The addition of Patrick Beverley was supposed to add some much-needed grit and energy to the team, which actually seems to work. But as much as we like Pat Bev, is he the player to take them to the next level? The Bulls were really poor against the best teams in the Eastern Conference last season. Those teams are just getting better. The Celtics and the Bucks are legit championship contenders, with the 76ers not far behind. The Cavs are actually looking like a good team, and even the Knicks are starting to figure things out after Josh Hart's arrival right before the trade deadline. Given the competition in the conference, it's hard to see the Bulls making a serious run for the title anytime soon, and with Lonzo being out for the next 1.5 years, the chances look even worse. Also, last summer they gave Zach LaVine a 5-year, $215 million contract, which is starting to look like a huge mistake. LaVine is a good player for sure, but nowhere near the max contract caliber. And although he's putting up numbers similar to his All-Star seasons, there appears to be a recent shift in attitude. Reports suggest that he may not be as engaged with the team as he once was, potentially stemming from some tension within the locker room. Chicago may even explore the possibility of trading LaVine in the upcoming offseason, but with such a big contract to his name, that's going to be a whole lot easier said than done. But there are some positives as well. DeMar DeRozan is performing at a high level, and the youngster Patrick Williams has shown great potential as well. And then there's Nikola Vucevic. His first season with the Bulls was a huge letdown, and although he's performing better this season, the Bulls organization was expecting more, especially considering what they traded away to get him to the Windy City. Also, Vooch is an unrestricted free agent after this season, and at this point, it's uncertain whether Chicago will be able to offer him the kind of money he wants. The Bulls have a lot to do in order to become a serious playoff contender. The answer to a lot of their problems would most likely be a healthy Lonzo Ball, but let's face it, that's not going to happen anytime soon, and it looks like they have to keep going without him. And as for Lonzo, with all his flashy playmaking abilities and impeccable defensive skills, there's nothing more we or the Bulls fans want than to see him back on the NBA court as soon as possible. But someone we'll see on the NBA court very soon is Houston Rockets' sensational center talent, Alperen Sengun. The 20-year-old has been on a roll as of late and is breaking NBA records left and right. I made a video about him, all of the records he's broken, and Alperen's incredible journey to the NBA. Check it out.